Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another Flesh and Blood Team League stream presented by the Combat Chain. I'm your host, Adam Philipchuk, and look who's back. We've got Pat Shaw with us. How's it going, Pat?
Hey, happy to be back. Spent a lot of time in sunny Florida, back in the battle station, ready to ready to watch some flesh and blood,
Right
call
on.
some matches. Excited for it.
And we've got some exciting matches coming up for you guys tonight. Both of these matches are, uh, how would you say it, Pat? Like these are
We've got
must.
we've got some exciting we've got some series clinching matches
That's
here.
what I was looking for,
Both
series
games
clinching.
here are are teams both the Clout Chasers and West Coast Best Coast are up 2-0 in the series. So wins tonight for both the Clout Chasers and West Coast Best Coast will seal up the win for their teams and their respective teams this week. Uh, and it is the final week of the regular season for the Flesh and Blood Competitive Team League. So there is a lot at stake with standings, especially if we go to Division Two with the West Coast Best Coast. We are looking at a traffic jam at second, third, and fourth place, where SEAL Team Lotus Galaxy Gaming and West Coast Best Coast are second, third, and fourth, respectively. All are 2-2, and all have some sort of head-to-head tiebreaker matchup to get them where they are. SEAL Team Lotus right now facing West Coast Best Coast is in fact in second place on the season. Because of the head-to-head matchups. Um, so a win here tonight will from by Zayne Johnson will clinch the series and potentially move West Coast Best Coast up to second place. It'll be interesting to see how that filters out with Galaxy Gaming, depending on how they do this week. But it is an important matchup, and it's a very good one here. We do have Zayne Johnson from West Coast Best Coast going up against Jacob Baugh. That is the multiple top eighter Jacob Baugh, I believe, top eighting at US Nats and at least one calling. Um, so a formidable opponent coming in that coming in that third in the lineup, uh, holding holding SEAL Team's fate in his hands here. So uh, lots at stake here. And even beyond that, we're looking at some close. We're everything down from the game records per team are all very close. So, really looking forward to this match here. A quick recap from the previous games in the series. We had Yuki Lee Bender up against T Tebow, and she won over. She won with Prism over Viserai and Oliver Chen over Tim Scroggs, Oldham over Breyer. And it looks like we have Zayne on Chain and Jacob Baugh on Prism tonight.
Yeah, and
Adam, what do you think about the Prism Chain matchup here?
this one's an interesting one because it really depends on. I mean, Chain's game plan's pretty consistent here, but it's the Prism that can kind of go one of two ways, and it really depends on what Jacob chooses to do. If he goes more of a fatigue route, this is going to be a very tight, grindy to the end game where it's going to come down to the last couple cards in deck, and it's going to come down to who can eke out the slight advantages. However, the other option, Plan B, Jacob can also choose to go down more of a Herald beatdown route. Chain does have some Herald poppers, but for the most part, with the amount of War Tune Heralds that Prism's running now, it's not hard to present back to back big damage turns. Uh, you can easily set up 2 to 3 back to back, or sorry, back to back 2 to 3 Herald turns. And if that's the case, Zayne does have well, in theory, if he goes with the standard suit, will have 10, 11 block on his equipment. Uh, but once he's through his equipment, Chain doesn't block the best anymore. They've got some non-attack actions, and they've got things to kind of. Furthermore, they don't want to block in the late game. They want to hold their hand and they want to be all gas. So uh, yeah, depending what we see from Jacob here, that can certainly be a factor in this match, and I think that's going to probably be the biggest factor about how this match goes.
We did see earlier in the week, perhaps last week in D1, we saw the Hyperloops versus the Card Guys. And Joe Colon on Prism against Sebastian Cavello. I'm going to butcher his name, but obviously a very well regarded member of the Flesh and Blood community on Chain. And Joe came in with a seemingly teched out Herald aggro plan that did the job against Chain. It'll be interesting to see if other people in the league have picked up on that tech, knowing some of these players are gravitating towards Chain here.
Well,
And we
and
have them. Go ahead, Adam.
oh no, I see the players are starting here, so I'll let you start us off here, Pat.
Yep. Sure. It does. So it looks like Zayne decided to go first over pitches to get the rune chant filter out of his hand. We see the Riftbind and Eclipse go into the pitch. He's got two floating. Looks like he's going to preserve that action point, shackle and pass to Prism. A solid setup turn. Don't want to lose your action point, and give Prism the opportunity to get a flash out an aura.
Yeah, we see though Jacob on the follow up here, coming back on his turn. He is starting off with a Herald of Protection. I believe that's a blue Herald of Protection. Let me zoom in on
Mm-hmm.
that for the folks at home. If I can find my mouse cursor.
Ooh. So two interesting things we've seen so far. We've seen the Eclipse being pitched by Chain, and Eclipse usually only comes in with the anti-fatigue board strategy. So if we can float over the Chain's deck to see the count, we should be able to tell pretty quickly. Yeah, there's 64 cards left in the deck. So Chain is on that anti-fatigue end game, Eclipse combo-ish thing. But as we just pointed out, that fractal replication is not something that you see in most conventional Prism builds. But Joe Cologne in that teched out Herald aggro did play fractal replication. In fact, opened the game with a Herald of Erudition that was blocked but not phantasmed into a fractal replication, which is muy caliente.
Yeah, and fractal replication is an interesting one because if when it's good, it's really good, but it's not always good. Like when the fact that it doesn't intrinsically block, when you don't have another, when you're on like an auras type deal and you don't have another Herald implant in hand, it
Mm-hmm.
is a rough card. So it is very, I think, it's a tech card
100% a tech
for
card.
the
Yep.
Herald style
Yep.
beatdown, and that's about it.
Herald aggro against decks that won't try to pop. And right now that is Chain almost to a T. We do see Chain attacking right now with a Soul Reaping. He did banish a card to subvert the cost, and I believe it has Go again because opponent does have a card in Soul. So we do see coming in for 6 and then attacking with the Rosetta Thorn. I believe that was just for 2, but that seemed to wrap up his turn. We do see it rip through reality. That isn't something you see too often in chain lists these days either.
No, and I think Rip Through Reality is one of those ones where it's you're playing when you are on more of an arcane plan, and when you are able to guarantee the go again on it. That's where it shines at its core, at its best. It is in the. I mean, it was much better when Seeds was around, unfortunately, and I think that's in part why we don't see it played much anymore. Is there's just not enough ways to deal that reliable arcane. But maybe
Absolutely. And we
maybe
see
there's a
a
tech way there to like run Rip or through reality with like Sting of Sorcery. That could be interesting.
mm-hmm. Yeah, exploration of those other Runeblade non-attack actions is definitely something worth looking into. We did see a Herald of Judgment, I believe that was being blocked by a Command and Conquer. I believe the blue was pitched to get the action point back from Phantasmal Footsteps, and Prism is coming back with another Herald of Protection. I believe that's a yellow one coming in for 6. So it looks like all signs right now are pointing towards Herald aggro plan. Uh, I would venture to say this is pretty close to what I was talking about earlier with that teched out against, this is almost anti-chain tech at this point. Heralds do seem to bust through Chain's game plan, and we see that Chain does have, like we mentioned before, it looks like he had boarded for that Eclipse combo, so not necessarily going on that aggro plan himself. So not built to race. So we'll see how this kind of works itself out as we go here. And we see a Shadow of Ursa and a Rip Through Reality. So hits hits abound on the shackles so far, but he's storing those up and hasn't had much use for them quite yet. He's got a logjam of attacks in Banish.
Yeah, and we do see the captain's call getting played here. Looks like he's choosing +2. So maybe he's happy to sit on those rip through his realities. Those might be part of like his end game strategy or his late game strategy
Mm-hmm.
to like build up a big turn, get that arcane hit, and then they've both got go again. Um, have a few blues in hand and just be able to pitch into both of them.
Absolutely. We see I believe that was the skull cap come out to block. Did I see that correctly?
Um,
Maybe not. Maybe it's just shifting that around. Got distracted there for just a moment.
Shiny penny.
But we do have Prism at 26, Chain at 31, Chain's at 3 shackles. Prism is up 5 card hand coming up here, and is that a blue Herald of Triumph?
Let me zoom into that for the folks at home.
There are all so
That's a
many
yellow.
glory. Yellow one. That is a yellow Herald of Triumph coming in for 6. It needs a 7. In order to pop it, you need to bring up a 7. Doubt that that's something we got right now. Runic Reclamation might be in here, and I believe that is a 7 attack that could pop it. Otherwise, a moot point. Chain looks like it takes the hit down to 25. Uh, Arcanite Skullcap online for Chain, offline for Prism. Prism does have the Tunic resource, and is that a Herald of Tenacity? We're seeing some
It's a
some
Herald of
little used
Ravages.
Ravages. I 50-50 shot. Yellow Herald of Ravages. There we go. Not used to the artwork. You don't usually see that too often. I think this really hits home what the Prism player is trying to do here. Ravages coming in. I believe if it hits, deals 1 arcane and goes to soul.
That is correct.
So with the heralds coming in here fast and furiously, uh, Chain's got to start looking at, start worrying about Husk sooner than he probably likes. I think the key to chain wins here seems to be how long you can keep Husk out And when you can effectively use that to pivot as opposed to being forced to use it out of value because your life total will be too low in the end. Hey, and there's that runic reclamation. So we're gonna pop Phantasm, and we're gonna get Phantasmal Footsteps to get that action point back, and followed up with a
Pierce
passing. Is
reality.
a Pierce Reality? Thank
That
you.
one's Pierce reality.
That is the +2 aura.
Yes, it
That's right.
is.
Yep. And we see on Shackle 3 a Swarming Gloomveil, Malvern Skies, and an Unhallowed Rites. So one hit.
No hits there. The Mauverian
No hits.
Skies. The Mauve Skies
Was
isn't.
the Unhallowed Rites not part of
Oh,
that?
sorry. The
Or is,
Unheld Rights is a hit.
yep.
Yes.
Yep. There we go. And there's a Shadow Puppetry. Next attack gets go again +1. If it hits, look at the top card of your library and you can banish it. And we do see the Unhallowed Rites coming in for, I believe this will be 5 go again. If it hits, I believe that you can put a non-attack action from your graveyard to the bottom of your library. Or does it
No.
has to have Blood Debt, right?
So the Unhallowed Rites automatically has you can take a non-attack action card with Blood Debt from your graveyard and put it at the bottom of your deck, but I don't believe Zayne has a target for it at this point. The Shadow Puppetry
Mm.
does have the trigger, the on-hit text of you can look at the top card of your deck, and if you so choose, you can banish it.
Thank you.
And it looks like
Mm-hmm.
Jacob's happy to take the damage here.
Yeah, I know. I think he's comfortable where he's at. Oh, we do see a Howl from Beyond get banished.
Oh,
That is
that's
a good target.
yeah, but I think Zayne wanted that one card sooner, maybe,
Mm-hmm. Yep, I
for that
agree.
unhallowed rights, because this
It
game
does
will
look
be
like
seeing the
the.
second cycle of the deck. You want to try to get one for one value unhallowed rights to Howl from Beyonds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We do see the Rosetta coming in for 2 and 2. Jacob weighing his options. No arcane barrier here. We do see the Ironhide and potentially, I think the arcane from Skullcap is the only potential arcane barrier there, and it does look like he took. I believe he pitched and blocked for 1. I believe is what he did to arcane barrier 3 and blocked 1 to take 1. And oh boy, help me out with this one, Adam. Is that a that is an
Coalescence
error?
Mirage.
Yeah, all right.
Looks like a yellow Coalescence Mirage. This is a vanilla damage card, but if it gets destroyed, you can put an Illusionist card with cost 0, or Illusionist Aura card with cost 0 from your hand into the arena. So kind of a cheeky way to try to flash out the 0 cost non-attack action auras. However, I think this Coalescence Mirage isn't seeing much play because it's just an easy one to never block. It's kind of like Miraging Metamorph, but it's worse.
Yep, yep. And the husk comes out to block the Coalescence Mirage, and it looks like a Haze Bending is played from Arsenal, and I believe another attack from an aura was done, and Chains at 19.
Oh, and that's not what you want to see on Shackle 4.
No, a whole bunch of whiffs. They're those
That's
Sting of
tough.
Sorceries that you were talking about before, though. So it looks like Chain was listening to your ideas when building the deck.
Great minds think alike. So, I mean,
So
Zayne's still in a good
Shackle
position
4
here.
still, yeah, absolutely. So still 5 card hand. You still have the non-attack, and an Art of War coming out from the arsenal. This could be huge.
And
It's super
something
important
of
to have
note.
an effective banish card right now.
Oh, and there it is, the red bounding demigod. Perfect. Drawing 2 off of that. Essentially just gaining 2 cards because the bounding demigod is still playable from Arsenal. And something of note here,
Mm-hmm.
Jacob's only at 20 life. Like this is very much potentially if this is the turn, if Zayne drew what he needed to draw here, it's not hard for Zayne to present 20 damage, I think, here.
Absolutely, and this is a fight. We're having all sorts of teeth and claws coming out. We are looks like SEAL team is pulling no punches and trying to save the game and potentially its season here. A lot on the line. And there's a shadow puppetry. I tell you what, Zayne is coming in super strong on this turn. This is exactly what he needed. Uh, hopefully, he's going to look to be presenting easily 20 plus across here. He's going to look to strip cards from Prism hand and take over tempo of this game. Very important turn uh, coming up right here.
And here we see Jacob with an easy block for 6. He's happy to not let the shadow puppetry trigger hit, saving saving his
Yeah,
life as a
good.
resource for the vanilla damage instead.
Yep, absolutely. You don't want to make this already monstrous turn even bigger. And that's what did he shackle that? Does that
He
have
did
go
shackle
again?
that. Yeah, that's got go
All
again. So
right.
2 and 2 with go again. Trying to get that
One thing
arcane, I
about
think, for the ripped
chain.
realities.
Yeah, that's a great point. And something super unique to chain, being able to attack with that weapon 4 2 and 2 mid turn. Uh, so used to seeing Viscerize just finish a turn with it. Caught me right there. Oh, he's just gonna stop his turn right there. That seems unwise, but no, he can give that weapon go again. And we're gonna continue the combat chain here.
Yes,
And
we are
there's a
not done
belittle.
yet.
And we're
Oh,
gonna
with the
reveal
reveal.
Swarming Gloomveil. Love to see it.
I imagine he's going for a blue on this one.
Well, if he's fetching the blue, he likely has. He's probably gonna try and
Yep.
get that Howl from Beyond out here, and uh, pretty easy to pitch for the Howl. Come in with the Swarming Gloomveil. Continue this monster turn here,
I don't know if you want to
and
pitch the Howl here. Maybe you want the resources for the Rip Realities and you want to save the Howl for a Riftbind turn at this point.
mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. That's just me being a backseat driver, though. It depends on how many resources Zayne has in hand. We know he's got the blue Minnowism, but we don't know what he's got beyond that.
Rip through reality. Rip through reality being a 2 cost
Yeah.
does make a whole lot of sense when you say that. Rip through reality, not a card I'm intimately familiar with. Assumed it was also a 1 cost. So really, really whiffing on the rip through reality descriptors here. But we
That
do
is
see the Swarming Gloomveil for 4 go again. Prism is not giving up those cards. And there's that rip through reality.
coming in for 5.
He did only create the 1 aura with the shackle. So swarming, even though it hit, I do not believe its on hit effect was online. We do see the rip coming in for 5.
What color shrill is that pitch there?
That looks
That's a
blue,
yellow shrill.
yellow. Yellow Shrill. All sorts of spice coming from this chain list.
And there we go. That's the last card from Jacob's hand. Jacob's still going to 5 after that.
You gotta wonder. I think people will start taking notice of the Rip Through Reality tech, especially also being paired with the Sting of Sorcery is actually quite the potent combo when you think about it. It's a great addition uh, to this particular chain list, and
Tell you
see
what,
it
I know
paying
what I'm
off.
testing in my chain list tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's another,
That's the great thing about the Flesh and Blood competitive team league here is that there are has been plenty of opportunities. If you look, a lot of these streamed games, especially the ones where they are not the top three decks, really exploring what else is out there in terms of hero and archetype, and it's been fun to watch some of these more unconventional matchups. I do point to the recent matchup of Hometown TCG versus, I believe it was Team Kitchen Fable. Had decided to go off meta week and had quite a lot of entertaining games for that one. And we see uh, 3 hits on Chain's turn here. Prism's turn, not much. It looked like they had the Haze Bending come out, attack for 1, drew up, and pass. So we see Chain coming here on the beginning of the turn, shackling, revealing 2 bounding demigons and a Shadow of Ursa, losing a Command and Conquer and another card. And Chain, really, this is really stomp on their throat time here.
this is
Prism,
also in the
yeah,
tank
Prism
time.
needs
Like,
to.
oh, we're actually going to see a pretty quick play here. I expected Zayne to take a little bit longer to kind of think that one through.
So what you're not seeing here is a lot of non-attacks that are giving go again. So potentially, so we know that there's a Swarming Gloomveil and a Minnowism now in hand.
Now,
So
we
we
do have
have one
creepers up
unknown
still.
card. Yep, we do have creepers. That's a very good point. And we know so there is one resource floating. The little has go again, so he can get shackle. So he can get go again from the shackle. He can get go again from activating creepers. That's pretty good. That's 2. Interested to see what that third card is. Prism really on the back foot here. Phantasmal Footsteps out to block. Ironhide Gauntlets out to block. And it is a Mauve Skies. That is fantastic news for Chain. This is a pretty big turn.
Yeah, this is Zayne's exactly where he Zayne's got this game exactly where he wants it right now. He just has to take this one home, and uh, he's got the cards he needs so far to do that. The Mauve Sky is going to give something go again, or his Runeblade action go again. Able to string out an additional attack because of the Mauve. We'll have
Yeah, he's got opportunities for he's got the Mauve Skies, the Shackle, and can still activate creepers if he chooses, but he will have to lose the Swarming Gloomveil. So I think he's in a pretty good spot as is. If he shackles, if he shackles to give either the Bounding or Shadow of Ursa go again, that will innately give the Swarming Gloomveil go again, and he can pitch for the Rosetta to close it up. So
we
it did look
see.
like Prism did try to take another avenue here with that aggressive Herald plan, and it looks like Chain was prepared and is is doing its job, really. Chain is in control here, and got to imagine looking to wrap the game up here. Uh, if not this turn, he should be ready to do it in this in the next turn cycle here.
So we see the Hell from Beyond pumping the Shadowverser to 5. I didn't see any banish here. I think he's got 2 action. Oh yeah, we creepers, so he does have 2 action points. So this is not necessarily having go again, but there being an action
Mm-hmm.
point floating.
And he still has swarming in hand and a resource floating for the Rosetta. Yep.
I don't believe this bounding will have. Oh yeah, this bounding does have go again. So into the
Yep.
swarming, into the sword.
And
I
is
think that
that
might be game.
is that GG's?
Yeah, we see the banish get put on top of the graveyard.
Yeah, I think so. There it is. And West Coast, Best Coast, taking the series from SEAL Team Lotus, going up 3-2 in the season, and potentially into second place here, depending, of course, on what happens with the rest of Division Two. We do
Yeah,
know that today Galaxy Gaming is looks like Galaxy Gaming wrapped up their series as well, so they are 3-2. Um, Now we get into real fun math here, because both of you guys will be 3-2. Uh, Galaxy is ahead on tiebreakers at the moment, but I do believe um, you'll be tied on tiebreakers, and you're ahead on game record. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But it does look like you're the very least in the top half of the league, closing this one out 3-0. The other 2 games of the week will be for uh, game record importance here, and I believe that is I believe Dongy Kim up against Avilio Valespino and Colin Honigman versus Joshua Kehi left on the schedule for the week.
yeah. So we've got the Dong Key match. That's going to be tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. So a little evening match for you tomorrow, and then the Colin Honigman matchup is actually going to be a Saturday morning match. That one's going to be at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. So,
Ooh.
uh, so yeah, a little bit of end of series action just to kind of see how the tiebreakers end up playing out.
Yeah,
But
these
more
games, these games, while the series is wrapped up in terms of win record, that game record will matter. So there's no insignificant game left here. You really need to keep your destiny in your own hands, so to speak. Winning out is your best case here.
100%. 100%. Because yeah, just because the season's coming to an end, you're playing to try to see where you're going to end up next season. With and a little more info on the end of season procedure for our listeners. There is our playoffs don't work quite like North American Sport League playoffs do. It's not the entire league plays it out. Instead, it's each div is ranked, and Div 1 being the top Div 2 being middle, 3 being the bottom. And I know there's some discussion about doing a Div 4 next season as well. And so at the end of season, you're actually playing to try to move up divisions and to not be relegated down divisions. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
in Div 2, first place at the end of the season will automatically move up to Div 1. And then second and third place end up playing it out in a playoff style series uh, where the winner of that series also gets moved up to Div 1, and the loser of that series stays in
Oh,
Div 2. And then the
oh
bottom three
boy.
positions, position 4 and 5 in Div 2, are playing once again a series to see who will move down to Div 3, and then sixth place will automatically be relegated down. And then for Div 3, there's no relegation down, but relegation up works the same way.
So that is some spice. I like hearing that. Uh that makes for an exciting playoff atmosphere, and who doesn't love that? My big takeaway from all of this is that Division 4, Capolo, we can make a team next season. We're gonna have the scrubbed out podcasters. It's gonna be the half-ass creators. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, that's
Squirrel and Chain.
Div 4 is going to be yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be cool to see the league grow. I think there's a lot of potential for this league and a lot of potential for um, where this league can go, and even like hopefully
Absolutely.
the support it can see from LSS. And it would be
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
cool to see this thing become a sanctioned thing. Man, would that ever be cool?
Absolutely.
Uh, but
Yeah,
speaking
having a way of doing that, that would be fantastic.
uh, speaking of support from LSS, though, we do have some exciting news.
Oh boy. Yes, we do. Adam, why don't you tell the audience?
So we're going to touch on this in the next episode of our podcast as well. But for the lucky early listeners and viewers, we have found out that we're actually getting included in the second round of LSS's content creator kit. So we're going to have some
Geoffrey.
things to be sharing with all of you. I don't even we don't even know what's all in the kit yet, but we know there's some promos. I think there's a playmat. I know there's a few content creators, of course, getting this kit. We're not so lucky to be the only ones, but just to even be part of this is quite exciting. But where I'm going with this is I think the New Zealand, because shipping is quicker in New Zealand, from New Zealand to New Zealand. Uh, I think we're going to start to see these kits get into circulation sometime in the next day or two here. Hopefully, the New Zealand content creators should start to be unboxing theirs. They get the real treat of doing the unboxing videos. But
Mm-hmm.
we are still very excited to share all this with you. Pat and I still have to figure out exactly how we're gonna share this all with you. We've got a few ideas.
Absolutely. And we've been working hard on the channel and podcast. One of our one of our benchmark goals here was to be recognized by LSS as a content creator, and uh, if they weren't, we may have had to knock down the door, but we opened it. God damn it, we're in. So the appreciation, the content creator appreciation kit is it's on its way. We're happy to share that with our audience, and it'll be a celebration.
Yeah, exactly. So apologies, my dog barking in the background there. Somebody wants to go outside. I'll get to that in just a moment. So we do have another match lined up for you tonight still. We do have a Clout Chasers versus Team Invaders match. Maxime Villeneuve of Clout Chasers taking on, oh geez, Geoffrey
Oh, I had it. I had it. Geoffrey Benawar from Team
Benawar. That's it.
Invaders. And let's take a look at what has happened so far in the series. We do know that here we are. The Clout Chasers are in fact up 2-0 in the series. And looking at their records, we know that. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. Stand by. Okay. Yep. Here we are. We know that Frank Hung uh, took took the win against Gregory Patelis of Fab. Nope.
No,
That is
that was a trickle over from last week.
okay. I'm looking at this. So we do know that Max Thomas took one over Ricky Lianto. Max on Oldham taking the win there. That was streamed by Tower Number 9 on the 26th, and I am struggling to find. I know that there was a second game.
Yeah, there was a second game. We actually did have that one on stream as well. That one was I wrote it down here somewhere. Oh boy. The wheels are falling off the train here,
Oh
folks.
yeah, this is what happens in between. I could have sworn I saw it up here. Yes, it
You
was.
got it
Nope,
there.
it wasn't that one. Nope, don't have it. You know what? The games are the friends that we made along the way. That is the real one that Christian Christian versus Adrian, correct?
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, I had it on the tip of my tongue. That was a
I'm looking at
Starvo
the
mirror,
matchups. That's right, the Starvo mirror.
and
I was Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Christian able to just sneak out. It was a tight one, but he was able to sneak out the win there, um, putting Clout Chasers up 2-0 in that series.
I heard that that was a barn burner. I still haven't. I've watched some of it. I haven't gotten a chance to watch all of it, but that is on the to-do list because I heard that that was a very exciting game. Maxim, known to be a chain aficionado, and seeing that chain is still probably on the menu, likely to see Maxim with his bread and butter here to seal it out. Um, Not too familiar with Benawar here, um, but I'm sure
Yeah,
if I do
Benawar I think is
this.
a new up and coming name. We haven't seen him too much yet, but he's from Team Invaders. Oh God, it's either was it Indonesia or Malaysia they're from.
Hmm. Yeah, one of those the in the APAC area there. Um,
So
let's see what
those
he's
guys
got going
haven't
on
had
here.
necessarily all the same opportunities to kind of make a name for themselves that some of the rest of these players have had at this point.
Let's see what I can find here. We do know that Benoit does have. Looks like last week against the Tavern Brawlers, he had a win playing as Chain. Uh, and let's see if I can find the one before that, and we can kind of start seeing if there's a pattern. And Benoit lost the week before playing against the Separatist Union as Viserai, so playing on Rune Blades for the past 2 weeks. So likely to see, I'd have to look to see if Chain's been taken on the other side. I don't think it has. No, because there was a losing hero was Briar on Oldham and then the Starvo mirror. So maybe we even seeing a Chain mirror possibility here. Um,
Ooh, that would be
we
something.
do see that would be something. Does Chain mirror against for all the marbles of the series would definitely be interesting. He does also have some experience. Benoit does on Prism, but losing as Prism against Starvo early in the year against Chris Agashi from Darkside Games.
Mm,
Um,
a formidable opponent.
and Maxim pretty consistently winning as Chain. The Clout Chasers are a larger team, so he hasn't played every week. Um, but when he has played. Yeah, week 1 wins. Week 2 wins. This is Maxime here. Yep, week 3 wins. What do we got? And did not play on week 4. So undefeated in the season, Maxim is 3-0, coming in trying to seal the deal in game 3 coming up here next.
Yeah, 100%. So we do,
Exciting stuff coming up here.
yeah, 100%. This is going to be a great match for sure. Um, we're just waiting on the players to kind of get their stuff together here and get ready to play for us. In the meantime, we're going to cut to a quick break here, but don't go too far away because we will be right back in a couple minutes with that game 3 of the Clout Chasers versus Team Invaders match for you guys. So yeah, don't go too far away. We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. We've got game two of our doubleheader here for you tonight, and the players are just loading up. We've got Max Villeneuve in the red on the right versus Gregory. You got the spelling there. You got it there, Pat.
I
The
did Benawar,
Benawar, that's
Gregory
what it was.
Benawar.
Benawar on the left in
Yeah,
blue.
Maxime Villeneuve versus uh, Gregory Benawar. Uh, Benawar coming from Team Invaders. Unfortunately, they are 0-4 in the season. Maxim is part of the Clout Chasers, 3-1 in the season. Their only league loss is against Fab Chaos. Maxim himself is undefeated in the season, 3-0. Did not play in week 4, but uh, coming at coming at Team Invaders here with uh, his pride and joy chain, uh, and we see Gregory fielding Viscera, I believe, for the second time this season. But I believe taking a loss as Viscera before 2 weeks ago. So we do have this is I think one of the more intriguing matchups in terms of top tier meta decks here. Chain versus Viscerai. How do you see each of these heroes going into this matchup? What is the game plan here for the Rune Blades?
Well, I mean, Chain's game plan is what Chain's game plan always is to build up the soul shackles and just have incrementally stronger turns and just try to build up to a point where he overwhelms his opponent. Key here is what's the Viscerai going to do? Does the Viscerai just try to race, or does the Viscerai try to play kind of semi OTK? And then in turn, can Max pick up on that and react accordingly?
Mm-hmm. I do think the Viscerai's best bet is probably into that semi OTK.
I
I
think
think he's
so.
gonna look for that explosive single turn. Try to get 8 to 10 rune chants and pop the Sonata off with the Skeleton while he still can do that. um, but having that tempo plan, tempo plan base, probably going to have a couple extra read the runes and a couple less revel and rune bloods to ensure that the rune chants can stay on board and try to pop off when the time is right here. Um, I will see quickly though if he's not stopping or you see some multiple revels, you know that he'll try to be, he'll be trying to race Chain. And in that case, if it's a race, we know that Chain can race with the best of them, can probably out aggro Vis in that scenario. So it's probably not in Vis's best interest here to go with the full race, unless he's got that kind of nut tempo hand. Like I said, that semi OTK, 8 to 10 rude chant, pop off that Sonata, and get that tempo. You want to hit that 30, that 30-35 damage turn here to really put Chain in a bad spot.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's in racing. Chain is possible. Should he choose to just straight up try to race, it's just he's going to need to have some Gregory that is going to need to have some incredibly powerful and potent early turns if he so chooses to race. So we see both players drawn up here.
We do see Chain showing Vexing Quillhand instead of Grasp. Another indication he's probably got that clean 60, and he's just going to be looking to smash face uh, into Viscerai here and try to clean this up as quickly as possible. And we
So
see Viscerai start off with the turn 0 Sonata for free. See what he's got off that. Gonna reveal top 3. Best he can hope for is one. There's a Revel, a
Oh,
Mordred, and a meet and greet blue.
let me zoom in for the folks at home. That's a blue meet and greet, correct?
Here we go. And of course, the Vexing Quill Hand, while also being explosive with the sacrifice of the Rune Chance, does have Arcane Barrier, relevant for both heroes here. So we do see the Sonata into
Looks like a
the
blue
Spellblade
Spellblade.
Assault. Yep, and a little inefficient pitch here to filter out the hand. Going up to 3 Rune Chance on the back end, coming in for 2. An easy block here. Good start for Viserai, being able to either, you really want to start with either that Read the Runes or that Spellblade Assault to try and, you want to start the game off and end your turn with Rune Chance in here. That's what he's done. So a solid start for Viserai.
How do you feel about Viserai giving the chain the ability to cycle his hand, though?
There is some give and take there. Are you are giving him the opportunity to put cards away and draw new ones. But I those rune chants are going to be more important to you than him having a little extra card selection. So I do think Viserai in particular is one of those heroes where uh, they Viserai, whether people like it or not, it's a little uninteractive, and it really focuses on its own game plan, right? You know what you want to do against certain matchups, and if you play towards that, you are going to almost exclusively ignore them unless your game plan tells you to like block out, or do certain things. And Rune Chant generation on turn 0 is one of those things, right? Your game plan hinges on the idea that you'll be able to get build up multiple rune chants and then pop off as quickly as possible. So I believe that was a very good vis turn here. Even if he was able to block out and draw some, I do believe it was the correct play.
Fair enough. We do see, uh, it looks like at the start of Max's turn, Max is going to go with an Art of War already, banishing a red Riftbind.
Which he likely drew after cycling his hand. So there are consequences to every action.
We see the Howl from Beyond into a Soul Shackle, into the Riftbind. We do have +1 off the Art of War, +3 off the Howl from Beyond, and an additional +1 because the Howl from Beyond was played. So this should be 8 with Go again.
With one card in hand, doesn't look like any pitches left. Be interesting to see if he tries to follow this up with the Rosetta or Arsenal to set up for the next turn. Now, if I'm Viserai, I care about my rune chants here. I'm looking at, I'm doing the same thing I would be if I'm doing OTK. Looking at my hand, can I generate rune chants? Can I have an effective turn? What cards are not needed? Rattlebones is 100% one of those cards early game. Super awkward and really is just a red pitch or a block 3 if it's in one of your opening hands, and you see him uh, easy dump that and take the remaining 5 here. So interested to see what he's got there. And we see Sonata number 2.
Still another free Sonata here.
And he does hit. He gets shows Spellblade Assault, Swarming Gloom Veil, and Become the Arknight. Pretty straightforward pick here with the Swarming Gloom Veil. Chain does take the 1 from Sonata. I do believe that meet and greet is still around, so that is potentially online with the Go again, if he chooses to do so.
And it looks like we're going to see a pitch of the Dread Triptych to play the meet and greet. Yep. So this is 4 with Go again. Makes a rune chant on the back end and comes in with 3 rune chants of its own.
So we're going to see Viserai on that tempo plan for the time being. He is going to look to potentially generate multiple rune chants and end a turn with rune chants on the board here. He's still got that Sonata. That he's still got a third Sonata somewhere in the deck. Um, his game doesn't hinge on it, but it is. I don't know if I agree with. He had the rune chants generated. Um, I likely probably would have blocked a little heavier on that last turn and saved my cards and just drawn up and seen what else I got. Especially having that second Sonata there, it was it seemed like the game plan was pretty straightforward here with the parts in hand to do what was needed to be done. But he's going to go a different route now.
And so we see Max is happy to take this swarming. Go down to 28. And that's going to be
And he
followed
does
up by
end
us.
with it does end with a Spellblade Assault. Um, Still a solid. That is 5, 4, 9, 4, 13, 3, 16, 17, 18 damage presented this turn. Not the worst thing in the world.
No, but to be through 2 Sonatas already, I think you hope to have your opponent lower than 26.
Yeah, definitely. I still I don't think going through that second Sonata was probably best. I think blocking that original Riftbind for a lot, lose those attacks, put the Sonata in Arsenal. Um, Interested to see what his sideboard looks like. I did see a Revel there. Uh, in there, if I see another one, he's probably basically sold on that tempo plan. But even on 3, right? Even on 3 rune chants, and you have that Sonata breaking Quill Hand for another 2. If you can get an even number off that and just go for it on Skeletor, uh, it has been shown in the past that if your odds go up really high on hitting Sonata, even on like a slightly lower rune chant count, and he's got to read the rune. See, this is. I don't know if I could get behind this block. I'm interested to see what else he's got in hand. That read the runes is a really valuable card. Um, I don't think that's something that you throw down as nonchalantly as he had, unless he absolutely has to. But this stage in the game, I don't know what he's got in hand that would make him want to do that.
I mean, maybe he's got another Read the Runes.
I hope so. That would be understandable.
See a little bit of finger wagging going on there. Oh, and a Mordred Tide
There's Mordred.
into a Read the
See,
Runes. That
all
makes
right,
sense.
all right.
The only acceptable reason to block with the
That
other.
is literally it. Yep. Any other thing would have made me mad. So he gets away with one here. Now he's got to find the third Sonata. If he had kept that second one around, oh man, he'd be golden right now.
Yeah, maybe there was merit to arsenaling that second Sonata.
Max is in kind of a tough spot right now. If he can't go punch for punch now. Viserai does have a pretty good lead, and he's got that rune chain accumulation. Even if he were just to come in with some attacks here, it would probably force Chain to lose his husk. no matter what. So he's in kind of a bind, and will need to kind of tempo his way out of it to make sure that Viserai slows down.
Throwing
We
all the
do
right
see
cards out, though.
yeah, absolutely. Yep, that's what I was about to say. Shackling into the Rosetta, into a Command and Conquer. Hate to see the Command and Conquer used uh, without an arsenal being able to be targeted, but a solid move back. We see the second Whisper of the Oracle. This might be what Maxim needs to see here. Only 2 cards left in hand. The damage ceiling's a little low for what could come out here. Yeah,
Yeah,
read the
but we
runes.
see we're up to 12 rune chants now, though.
Yeah.
Or
We are
14
in.
rune chants. 13 rune chants. There
We
we go.
we are very comfortably in that semi OTK range. So Greg has gotten his rune chant targets. Maxim is likely sweating a little bit, but he's got to find that third Sonata now. So
Oof. Not the banishes you
not
want to see.
no, still got a 5-card hand though. Still, it's very important to see to put some damage through here. Viserai's at 21. Chain's at 26. Chain with 5-card hand got 3 shackles. We saw it was a whiff at the beginning of the turn. We see the cursors pointing at each other here. Looks like they're having a short conversation. Chain with the Mauvern Skies into the bounding Demagon from hand. I believe that is thank you, Maxim. That is coming in for 1 go again. We see the Bloodsheath Skeleton used to block.
Oh, that's a bad sign for Max.
And there's the Shackle into Rosetta for 2 and 2. Still floating 2.
Yeah, and now we're just going to see Gregory take
Happy to
all
take the
this.
2 Arcane. Yep, and another Command and Conquer from Arsenal.
Oh,
Ooh, that is big. That is especially big if he had the Sonata.
yeah. If the Sonata's an Arsenal right now, that hurts for Gregory, and that's
He's
exactly what
looking
Max
at it.
needed.
Super interesting play. This is definitely if that's the Sonata, that it's a block out happening right now. And he wants to preserve that, even if he's got inefficient blocking. And there's a meet and greet. And a Dread Triptych. Runeblade cards love blocking for 3, so 2 cards out of hand. Rune Chant still at 13. Maxim chooses to end it there. He does Arsenal and draw with 4 shackles. Got this 5-card hand. Let's see what we get from Viserai. Breaking the Vexing Quill hand. This might
Interesting.
be it. Going up to 15 rune chants. Breaking Skeleta.
I'd say this doesn't bode well for Max.
Oh, there's the Sonata. Sonata from hand, not from Arsenal. Very curious to see what's in Arsenal. Let's see here. 14, 15 rune chance, doesn't pitch anything. 14 is 7, 3. I believe this is a 10-card Sonata Arcanix.
I believe you are right.
Maxim is praying to the variance gods right now, the ones that have punished him for his shackles.
Variance gods giveth, variance gods taketh away. Is that what we're hoping for here?
Yeah, everyone talks about, the hit rates, right? All right, Sonata's got a 65% chance to hit when you're at, X. Yeah. Sometimes you're that other side. You're the 35% that completely whiffed in order to get to that 65. And let's see what we got. We've got one attack, one non-attack. We got three non-attacks. We're even split. And four, I believe we have 6 and 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We do six
Yes, 6
non-attacks,
and
four
4.
attacks. That looks like a blue shrill, a meet and greet, an amplify, and a swarming gloom veil. Maxim undefeated coming into the game in the season. We see Viscerai displaying its power. The Skeleton, the Sonata. Sonata hits for 4. I believe he chose to take that arcane. And we know that was a shrill, a meet and greet, an amplify, and a swarming gloom veil. So he's got those 4 in hand. We still have an unknown card in hand and a card in arsenal. Given those, he will probably either is going to go with if he doesn't have a non-attack that gives go again. This will be interesting. He's likely his best move is what? Meet and greet into swarming. Well, he's got the amplify is awkward.
What if he's got a ninth blade in arsenal?
That'd be great for
Oh,
him. Hi, a mobs guys. That's great. Now you definitely do the amplify unless you got the ninth blade, because you got to go again. So
no ninth blade, but an amp the Arknight.
yeah,
Pretty
for
close to just as good.
16 and 6, creating one on the back end. Woof. And we see a blue pitch, invert existence for the arcane barrier. Uh, blocking 3, taking, I believe that's 13, down to 9. Amplify coming in for 6. Probably throws the husk at that. There's the husk. Nothing in pitch. Likely coming in with the meet and greet. There's the meet and greet. Got a pitch for it. There's the unknown card. Was become the Arknight. So floating to meet and greet coming in. I believe that's a red coming in for
That'd be
4
4.
and 1 with go again.
That's right. This definitely has got, yeah, go again, no question here. Lots of arcane taken this turn. We're going to see a block for 4 with
Creepers come out.
creepers.
Yep. No rune chant generation on hit. Swarming Gloomveil coming in for 4 and 1 arcane. And we see the Skullcap and Bounding Demagon from hand blocking 4, taking the arcane, and a Shrill of Skullform coming in for 5.
Things boding well here
Blocking
for Gregory at this point.
blocking 3. Yep. That is a hell of a turn. Maxim reeling.
Shackle 4.
Shackle for whiff. Oh, that hurts. And we see a shackle go up to 5. I
You know what,
believe a
though?
blood debt. Yep, there it is.
The whiffing there is probably a blessing in disguise, though, with no cards in hand.
That's
You
very true.
you hope
Oh
that maybe
God. Oh, Viserai follows up with a Mordred Tide into a Rattlebones creates 2 on the back end, pitching a Mauve Skies Blue, 1 float. Going up to 3 Rune Chants, getting the Swarming Gloom Veil, banishing that, attacking with the Swarming Gloom Veil for 4 and 3, creating 2 on the back end. Pitching 3, blocking 4. Rosetta coming in for 2, 2, and 2.
Still tough break for Max at this point. Stripping his entire hand, taking him down to 1 life.
Yep. And that
I think that's
should
going to do it
do
then.
it because the Carrion Husk is in banish unless do you believe in miracles? No.
I do, but
No,
I
you don't.
don't see any there.
Yeah. And that should be GG's Gregory Benawar. Oh, we break Vexing Quill Hand. Attack with the house.
With the bounding Demigon, might as well.
Yeah, right, for posterity's sake. Takes the hit, creating some rune chants on the back end.
And there we go.
And that's the game. Maxime Villeneuve going down for the first time this season. So the team Invaders are not out of this. The series is
No, they
now
are not.
2-1. They are 0-4 for the season, but this is we call these these guys are the spoilers uh, for high ranking teams here, right? So Clout Chasers is 3-1. 3-2 is not great for the Clout Chasers. That puts them on the back end of that playoff race, and it is super close. Clout Chasers is 3-1 on the season, but 3, 4, and 5, much like Division 2, are all 2-2 and neck and neck with one another. Dropping down to 3-2 puts them right back into that traffic jam scenario, and potentially out of that win and in, move up the division scenario, and that is a dangerous game to play. Clout Chasers coming in this season pretty highly touted here, and I know thought by many as the favorites to potentially take the league here. And now they still have some work to do to see if they can finish it off here. Looking into the near future, I do know that there's 2 other games left in the series, and I'm not going to pretend to know when they are. Looking at the schedule, can't quite tell.
Let me see if I can find it here quickly while you talk away there.
But that was a solid matchup. It shows the power of Viserai. Chain does have a lot of difficulty into that semi OTK variant, and it represents some challenges because of that explosive turn. I do believe that Chain can raise tempo, and when that second Sonata was played for free, I was not confident that Viserai had the goods there, but whether that was maybe he had it early and kept it, or today was just his day. That third Sonata found its way in there, and he got you got on the higher end for the rune chants on the semi-OTK side of things. Usually, like I said, kind of 10ish is your target there, and you're, I believe you got up to 15. That's a good
That's
chunk.
full OTK range there.
Yeah, and having already hit Chain, I think Chain was down to 26 at the time. That's that's the recipe for disaster. The only thing that really stops them from really popping off is uh, whiffing on that Sonata and hitting uh, four out of a potential five max. Uh, was as good as it gets, and you got that blue shrill for the resource, 2 cards with Go Again, and that Amplify the Arc Knight. Having that Mauve Skies in the arsenal really made that hum. Otherwise, that was a pretty limiting turn if he had to work around that Amplify, because it's one of those things where it's like you play that Amplify, you get the rune chants pop off, so it's a high single attack, and unless you pitch the card to activate creepers and have that special go again attack, go again non-attack in there to that creepers would exploit, it becomes very difficult to start chaining those things together. But he did it. He did it, and he did it well. So
Yep.
hats off to Gregory Benawar of Team Invaders. Congratulations.
Keeping them in the series. I did
And
have a good
they're
look here,
alive.
and it looks like the last 2 games have not been scheduled yet. But we will do our best to stay on top of it, and as those matches get scheduled, hopefully we'll be able to bring them to you, because we've got ourselves a tight series here, and it would be great to see it get streamed to its conclusion. We do have more West Coast, Best Coast action for you, though. We've got possibly, we're figuring out some things here behind the scenes. Possibly a match tomorrow, Friday, April 29th. Dong Hee Kim taking on Avilio Valdespino. That'll be, if that one fires, or sorry, if we end up streaming that one, that'll be at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. And then we have another one for sure. Colin Honigman versus Joshua Kehi, and that'll be Saturday, April 30th, 8 a.m. Eastern. No, sorry, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. So that'll be the conclusion to the West Coast Best Coast series, and players still playing for tiebreaker points there, even though the series is decided. But I think that'll bring us to the end of this broadcast. Thank you once again, everyone, for tuning in. It means the world to us. Shout out to everybody in chat. Thanks for participating. It means the world. And I think until next time,
We're closing the
closing the
combat
combat chain.
chain. Woo!
Right on. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Peace out.